Namaskaram. I pay my respect, adherence, and obeisance to all the listeners. Today, I am preaching on Bible's first chapter, that is Genesis, and the verse number is 10. In the last video, I have discussed up to 9th verse. From here onwards, we would proceed and we would see what this Bible is preaching to us, and then we would reanalyze it. So the 10th verse reads, "And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters called he seas, and God saw that it was good." Here it seems that in the sea we have gatherings of water, but this term, I think it is not appropriate. Gathering means it has been accumulated from other sources, from other wares, and then it was put there. But this is not the scientific fact, and our evolutionary scientists are not suggesting this manner of evolution of sea. Now the 11th verse says, "And God said, Let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seeds, and fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth." And it was so. The question is here, how the seed is evolved, from which source this seed comes out. Before seed, what was that thing from which this seed has come out? If it was tree, then from which thing this tree was derived? If it was derived from seed, from which source that seed was derived? This is a very circular logic, and it is very difficult to answer that first seed has evolved or first tree has evolved. But from this thing, it seems first the herb yielding seed and fruit tree yielding fruit. Means tree has been evolved first, then the seed. Without seed, how the tree could be evolved? So this is not clear, and I suppose that this is objectionable too, that seed is derived from the tree. Without seed, without cause, how effect could be there? So this cause and effect is not solved by Bible. This is the riddle. It should be solved. First cause is evolved or first effect is evolved. Science says that first should be cause, and in Hinduism it is said that first it is beyond cause and effect system. So we have entity in Hinduism that is beyond cause and effect, which is only responsible for producing cause, which cause would produce effect, and that effect would produce again cause. That effect would become cause for upcoming effects. So that thing is more agreeable than this thing, more convincing than this thing. Now, 12th verse, I am reading it. And the earth brought forth grass, the herb yielding seed after his kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself, and his kind, and God saw that it was good. It seems that God was seeing this for the first time. If he was seeing this for the first time, that means this creation, before this creation, he has not seen any creation. It means this God has beginning itself. This God has experienced for the first time. It means this God is not eternal. So this God is violating the presumption of being a God. For being a God, the characteristics must be that it or he should be eternal. Here in Bible, God is addressed as a masculine gender. In Hinduism, God is beyond gender. And in that beyond, that God is masculine, feminine, and neuter gender, as well as beyond this gender. That is more convincing than this. So here it seems that this God is experiencing for the first time. So this God has itself first time experience. So this God can be called knave God, baby God, which is experiencing for the first time and exclaiming that this sea and this fruit and all these things which are yielding. So these things are very amazing, fantastic. The 13th verse says, and the evening and morning were the third day. In the third day, it was created. And this would again violate when we would proceed further, this would violate the chronology of evolution. In the 14th verse, it is written, "And God said, Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years." Now look at this thing. God said, "Let there be light." How light is evolved? How light is made? What is light? God is not defining anything, because this God is not capable of knowing the physics of light. It simply says, "Let there be." From which thing this light has evolved? If there was not light before this creation, then from which thing the light has evolved? It must be clarified here. But this Bible is not been able to clarify us, satisfy us. The 15th verse says, "And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth." And it was so. Means the light which is coming from outside is coming from the heaven. But this is not a scientific fact. In later days, human civilization has proved that this is not a correct thing. So this is again proved a wrong verse. And now the 16th, "And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made stars also." Look at here. This Bible is saying that stars are made later than the earth. Before the stars, earth was created, according to this Bible. But according to scientists, stars were older, far more older than the earth. So again, here this verse is also a false in factual sense. This is a false verse, and this verse is also saying that there are two great lights. One is made to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. Which lesser light is ruling the night? The light of the stars, their power is not lesser. And the light of firmament, which in real sense the light of sun, which is being reflected by moon And that light, this Bible is saying that that light is the great light. A light cannot be great simply because it is reaching the earth in larger flux. Scientists have discovered that there are many stars which are greater and more brighter than sun, and they are emitting larger flux of light. Their luminosity is greater than sun's luminosity. And day and night is observed in this earth, but if you go into space, you would not see day and night. So that fact is perhaps not known by the author of the Bible. The 17th verse reads, "And God set them in the firmament of heavens to give light upon the earth." Means light is coming from the firmament of heaven. But all of us know today that light is coming from sun and from other stars and not from the heaven. And here it is saying that this light is coming from the heaven. So definitely this book is not the book of God, but is written by an author who is not well versed in scientific facts. And at that time, in those old days, science was not so developed to explain the natural happenings, natural events, natural phenomena. Thus, this is just a presumption of the author, which is claiming that the light is coming from the heaven. This is just a comic verse, and it is very amazing that people is still following this book. All verses are wrong, still following this book, and still they are claiming that they are educated enough. Now the 18th verse, "And to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the night from the darkness. And God saw that it was good." So this light was created, what for? Just for making day and night, and just to divide the light from the darkness. Is it the purpose of light? Is it the purpose of light to make day and night clear to human being or to other creatures? Light has attributes, characteristics of its own, and it is not made for human only. Even if there would be no human, there would be no creature, there would be no earth, even then there would be light. Light is not dependent or is not made for earth. But during those olden days, people used to think that light is made for us. Light is made for this earth and especially for us human. So this is another fantasy of this author. Now the 19th verse says, and the evening and morning were the fourth day. So you can see that this is the fourth day creation. So these creations were not corroborating with the scientific evolution. Their chronology and their orders were not systematic and factual, and their regions are bizarre. So this bizarre region and with false verses, I am amazed, and those people who have a sense in science, they would only laugh at this book, which is a pack of false verses. So I think we have discussed up to 19th verse, and after this we would in next video we would see what other verses are claiming. Till then, I am only appealing that you should also think and rethink, reanalyze, reread, and then make a decision that this Bible is a book from all-knowing God, all mighty God, all potent God, or this is the book of an author who has no sense of science and whose observation is also not very clear. Not only clear, even his observation is not seem to be of rudimentary level also. Till then, I am again paying you deep respect and wanting you to use your intellect before making any sense of commitment to any book. Oh my